Well, if you want to know how it started in my back lane actually. Like I went overseas and I brought the birds. And my husband had a fork made by Archie Bar in Bastille. And we were shooting there. And because I was shooting target, like that was right on the tracks. And when we quit, there was no more shooting. And the girls, like from St. Rose, when they came in, they had no place to go. And they were complaining, we should have done something. And then they said, well, what's the matter with our sense fork? Let's try, if we can borrow the fork and the birds. So my husband said, okay. But he said, I haven't got a truck, you're gonna have to help me to bring it here. So we started it. When you come in on the plant, the mushroom plants, that towards the back lane, like, that's where we put up the fork when St. Rose came in, and put a canvas behind it. And I knew from in Belgium how everything worked with a lying down fork, because he was shooting upright and it's not exactly the same, So, and I had the birds. So that's what we tried it, and just for fun. So everybody liked it, and then it was brought up in a meeting. Why can we get a fork made and borrow our sense birds? And I said, why don't you use the fork, but you're not getting it. It's going to go back to my house because we were shooting in the back lane.
Well, my husband Noel was shooting archery, and I was busy with kids at home, but then I says I needed something to do too, so that's when I started. So we were both shooting, which was very nice. So, but I haven't shot for 20 years now, but I was thinking of it. I missed it, but I really enjoyed it for 20 years.
My son and Al, they owned Al's Jewelers on Marion. And because I was archery shooting, my son and his uncle donated the ball rank trophy. Now, my son and his uncle are both one. And then the bird that's up there, I donated that.
Yeah.
There's a bird up on the top floor.
Yeah, you donated a kingbird.
I won it and I donated it.
Yeah.
Well, I started shooting because I happened to meet my husband at that time, and he was in the men's club shooting for many years. So that's how I got involved. And I guess it'd be one of the competitions that we were shooting at, and that was in St. Rose. We were doing the prize shoot. And so I got Eric to go shoot first, and I followed him. So when he went to pick up my arrow, he got hit on the head by my arrow. That's one of the funny stories. And another one, it also happened in St. Rose. I got a trophy one year for a hole-in-one, as they say. They had a hole in their tarp, sort of, and guess who shot through it? I did. So we've gone through changes. I mean, I know at the beginning, I believe there was quite a few members shooting, probably 30.
Oh yeah,
at least.
At least.
And then it dwindled down to about 8 or 9 in a few of the years. And I think in the last couple of years we've grown again to how many? 25 shooters? At one time we used to shoot with wooden arrows, which came directly from Belgium. And we had those wooden arrows for quite a few years. Until it got too expensive, and then they started going to graphite arrows, which girls shot with. Now most of the girls now shoot with fiberglass with an insert. And we also used to get the birds from Belgium as well at one time.
My dad, Achille Delbar, started, well, when when I was at home, he was always going to archery, and we heard a few stories. But we never got, my sister and I, Irene, we only started in 2008, but our younger sister, Louise, started way back, I guess, I'm not sure, she looked like she was about 12, I guess, when she started, with her cousin, Lisa Delbar, and they really enjoyed it. I'm not sure how many years they did, but we decided to start, I guess Albert got us back into it, or decided, we need more members and that, so we said, okay, we can try it out. And we liked it, so yeah. So now we're trying to keep on the tradition.
I have been shooting, this is my 3rd year. My father, Laurie DeGrees, used to shoot with Robin Hood, and initially he tried to get me to shoot when I was 17. I think he was probably pulling about 60 pounds on his bow, and when he tried to get me to shoot with it, it just wasn't going to work. So my daughter and I went to Folklorama, and I was telling her about pole archery a number of years ago, and so we decided to go and watch the tournament that year for the MPAA tournament. And when we arrived, Carol Crawford said, here, try my bow. So we both took one shot, and that was it, we were hooked. So my daughter Carly and I both shoot with St. Sebastianette for the last 3 years.
I think I've been shooting since about 2007 or 2008. I'm about the 3rd generation of pole archers, because my grandfather, Jeff Delbar, was in St. Sebastian, as well as my father, Achille Delbar, but they all called him Archie. And my brother Albert, who Madeline is married to, is also shooting for St. Sebastian now, as well as my husband and my son. So there's 4 generations of pole archers going on. But for St. Sebastianette, I think Albert had invited my husband Phil to shoot with them for the MPAA competition when, I think it maybe was 2007 or 2006, and he says, this is a real fun sport. He really, didn't mind, but he thought there was a good challenge in that. And so I was talking to my sister Leona, and she goes, well, we should join the St. Sebastianette. They got some women there, and so, yeah, we thought, yeah, sure, let's do this. And it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. It's a challenge. But no, it's, get a good sight on your bow to try and shoot the birds off. It's a good challenge. It can be an individual sport as well as a team sport. Last year at the MPA competition, I finally shot the queen off.
When we started in 75, there was trying to figure out what to call it, and it ended up that there was quite a few members that were either members of the Seven Dwarfs, or they also had a husband that was in St. Sebastian. So then we decided to call it St. Sebastianette. But it was great fun when we were off to St. Rose, and then we were off to Dryden, and then we all came back to St. Boniface for the final shooting, which used to be in August. St. Rose had a pretty large membership at the time, and even Dryden, but we used to sometimes rent a bus and go with a bus to Dryden, because that was a long drive. The St. Rose, everybody, maybe some of them carpooled or whatever, but they were all by car. Yeah, and then they'd all get together and have a dinner and dance on a Sunday. I know that I was top shooter one year, and I can't remember what year, and I was also top shooter with Laura Lucky. She was a very good shot. She also had a very strong bow. She shot a lot of small birds, but you see, she had such a strong shot that when she shot at one small bird, she often got 2 of them. No, she was a small bird shooter. All our birds were from Belgium, and even at first we were shooting with wooden arrows, and they were all from Belgium, and they were a lot heavier than what we're shooting with now. And then they would splinter, and they would glue them together again and shoot them again. Al's Aunt Julia, she was shooting once, and the arrow went right through her finger, and the feathers from the thing were sticking out. She had to go to emergency, and she had to explain how that happened. This is the best tarp we've ever had, because we've had it for years, and it's still working. Any other tarp we had trouble with it, the arrows going through it and making a hole in it.
So I know it's kind of klutzy, but it's really the best one. It doesn't seem to ever deteriorate at all. But at the beginning, we were shooting the opposite direction. But then they felt that the sun was always in their eyes because we were facing west. So I don't know if we were safer there or not, but where the shed is where we were shooting from. But we used to have a toilet where we are now, just in between the men's pole and ours, but it was condemned.
I saw that. Blooper reel.
Is this for the blooper reel?